All right, man. Thanks for staying with us. Now, time for newspaper review.
No, don't that's all. Chukwudi Okulubaja is seated and ready to flip through the papers. You're already flipping through the papers.
I am happy. I'm better composed now. I was enjoying that voice. You know, the last promo we played.
Good morning to you.
Good to see you, Chukwudi.
Deep baritone. How are you, my dear?
Very well. You don't sound like it's Friday.
I'm raring to go, is it? I don't know what I do, God. You forgive me happiness. Good to see you. Victor, how now?
I'm good.
All right, so that's what the papers have this morning. We'll begin with the People's Daily. The People's Daily has Tinubu's reforms have stabilized the economy, says Okonjo-Iweala. That's the lead story. There, the writer says WTO boss unveils $5,000 grants for Nigerian women. The lead story on the People's Daily. And above that, we have ADC slams Tinubu over excessive foreign trips. And just beside that, federal government targets 60% female participation in new national skills program. And looking at other stories on the front page of the People's Daily this morning, we have Benue Deputy Speaker, local government chairman feud, Idoma women sue for peace. All right, Benue is still in the news, and of course, continuous voter registration is also making the headline this morning. And the caption here says, insecurity bars INEC from assessing 4 Borno local government areas. Ibom Air Saga, airline operators lift flight ban on Campfort Emerson. Federal government unveils 10 billion naira interest-free loan scheme for staff in tertiary institutions. And finally, from the People's Daily, we have federal government to unlock $150 billion dormant land capital to boost economic growth. All right, let's see what the Business NG has. Business NG has Naira among strongest currencies in the world. That's according to the CBN. And above that, federal government to link Barrow Inland Port to Lagos Kano Rail for cargo boost, and that's on page 2. Above the masthead of the Business NG, we have Okonjo-Iweala credits Tinubu for economic stability. Tinubu orders review of revenue deductions to boost growth. And finally, from the Business NG, we have 176 blacklisted estates threaten Lagos real estate. Okay. So that's it from the Business NG. Victor, what do you have?
All right, thank you. I have the blueprint. And the lead story reads, DHQ reinforces hunt for Toji 24 hours after Mahmuda leader's arrest. Denies extrajudicial killings in Southeast. U.S. approves sale of $346 million precision rockets, bombs, others to Nigeria. And above the nameplate, FG approves 4 trillion naira electricity sector debt refinancing plan. That's on page 20. And just below the nameplate, FG to Southeast, no region will be left behind in nation's development drive. That's on page 16. Nigeria to reduce dependence on fish importation, credited to Oyetola, and on page 21. And in sports, after AfroBasket victory, FIBA ranks the Tigers 8th in the world. That's on page 32. And this one to the right is amid alleged 189 billion naira withdrawals. Tambuwal storms Sokoto in triumphant entry. PDP, ADC supporters differ. And towards the bottom now, Tinubu's reforms stabilizing Nigeria's economy is on the papers, on all papers this morning. Okonjo-Iweala says so. And the last strip at the bottom, INEC delivers sensitive materials for Saturday by-elections in Edo, Jigawa, Oyo, and others. That's on page 6. Chukwudi.
Yes, I'm happy about the arrest of the Mahmoud leader. I hope I got that name correctly pronounced. It tells you that whatever you do, the long arm of the law will always catch up with you. I remember, Ere would not know what I'm talking about. Ishola Oyenusi, in those days, when he was eventually cornered, he said, first offenders often learn from hardened criminals. Secondly, he said, I'll face the firing squad with a smile. Thirdly, he said, the end of a criminal is always bad and terrible. The other time I told you that my set, we crammed up so many things, What am I driving at? Whatever happens, at the end of the day, they'll show you that crime does not pay. I wish that Turji would turn himself in. I wish that we can actually make peace with all these terrorists and bandits. I see them as my fellow human beings. Whatever they are thinking, or whatever wacky, mentality they have assumed, they've got to know that together we can do better in terms of nation building. So, kudos to the military for taking in Abbas Abubakar. That's the name of the man they just arrested. That's it. You read that Okonjo-Iweala is giving what to women? Okay, you can't remember.
No, it's the federal government that is giving, that targets 60% female participation in new skills program.
I thought it said something about WTO. Yeah, anyhow.
Yeah,
okay, $5,000
Yes.
grants. $5,000 grants for women.
That's not where I am coming from. I'm going to come from Tinubu's reform stabilizing Nigeria's economy, Okonjo-Iweala. Editors are free to choose their news angles. I stopped saying Tinubu is competent. I stopped saying that about 8 months ago. So I don't begin to sound like a sycophant. But if you check how prices are going down now, and nothing special has really been done, opening of borders so things could flood in, it tells you that the economic policies are beginning to work. What people need to do is to give it more time. We agreed almost unanimously that what is happening is that even as we see signs that things are improving, the money that comes into our pockets at the end of the month is still not enough to, that is really the issue, But things are beginning to work out. I keep on saying that I like journalism that says, hey, Mr. President, that's not good. But when you also see a silver lining there in the clouds, mention it. It's called sincerity at the duty post. Mm-hmm. So I am happy to note that Iweala is saying that the reforms are beginning to stabilize Nigeria's economy. Iweala shoots from the hips. She doesn't know how to pretend. Yes. The electricity sector refinancing, you read that as well.
Yes.
That has become the genie in the bottle. It's as if our electricity is trapped in a bottle. You don't know. We have not radically departed from what amount of electricity we generated even way back to Goodluck Jonathan's time. I thought by now we should be talking about 15, megawatts, not where we are now, between 4.5 and 6 and all that. So I don't know what is holding the power sector. Whatever it is, we should be freed from it because power is at the base of everything. They are looking for alternative sources of power now. Nuclear fusion is the latest they're endeavoring at because they're saying that the AI we use needs a lot of energy input. So the world outside is going a bit further, and we're still doing basic electricity. That doesn't seem to go around, Let's up the game for the sake of
and
dear
I
country.
missed this one, Chukwudi. It says, Oyo Fulani breeders threaten to stop milk sale, meat, over arrest of cows, in quotes.
The story between herders and farmers and community people will continue till we decide to engage modern ways of herding. The CDS spoke up again the other time. I have favorites among Nigeria's helmsmen. The Borno State governor is my first champion. That's Babagana, yeah, then the NDLEA man. Now I've added the CDS. That's Musa,
Christopher Musa.
He said the other time, we should be talking about ranching. The man does not want to talk like a politician because he's not a politician. The other time he said, don't tell me farmer had clashes. If cows move into somebody's farm, It is destruction of property. Then he also said, if you rustle people's cows, you are a thief, you're a bandit. It goes both ways. I like a situation where we come out and say what needs to be said about the continuing story about cows, about, you know, they say they are going to withdraw what? Sale of milk. Don't worry. After about 2 weeks, they'll say something different. Do you know what would stop all this farmer herd whatever? If people decide to boycott beef for just 2 weeks, the cow owners will tell them, look, let's make peace. So there are even drastic ways others can behave. Well, they're going to tell you that their nutrition matters a lot. We don't want that situation. We want us to keep on patronizing one another because that's what this country is all about. But everybody has something up their sleeve. That's the point I'm making, you know? Yeah. So let us have mutual respect. Leave the cows alone. Don't rustle them. Also, don't let the cows stray into people's crops and all that. It is their, you know, livelihood.
Sure. And some good news. Fuel price drops to 819 naira per litre.
I told you guys. What did I tell you? You see, you could just look me, say, because I did drive one Jalapi, one old Renault. When I talk economy, say, you know, they take them seriously. I told you to keep on moving like that. The $20 billion refinery means that, first of all, we're not going to have fuel scarcity anymore. Secondly, the people who say they are refining on the other side now have effective competition. And they are saying that somebody's fuel actually lasts longer in cars than some other people's fuel. So the competition is a gbogbo, you know, it has a gbogbo effect. I don't know why I like that Yoruba word. It has a total effect, you know. Just lay open the marketplace, and good enterprise will force down prices and fair play.
And Nigeria to reduce dependence on fish importation.
So are we producing more now? That's the question.
That's the question.
How much are you trying to help people produce fish? What kind of nutrition are the fishes getting? What kind of credit facilities are open to those who want to endeavor? You know, the water input, how good is it and all that? The water source. Fishery is not, you know, it's something that you just take up like that and you think you're going to start making profits immediately. You have to
and I like the ACU caption from this fish story. Yeah. Very interesting. It says, Nigeria to reduce dependence on fish importation. And the response is, and Nigerians will be less fishy in their conduct.
That's my mischievous friend there. You know, when I was in the newsroom, I didn't just write Kane's Arsenal. You know, you look for those words, play with them. Because if you don't bring entertainment into news, you're not talking to Chukwudi Okulubaja. You've got to make people enjoy it. You know, that's a good one. Which paper is it? I'm going to give them an award.
Blueprint.
I'll give them my old Renault to drive for just one day.
And FG to Southeast, yes. No region will be left behind in nation's development drive.
Is the Southeast left behind, really? Is it? You know...
Well, the federal government is just restating that. You know, reassuring.
The federal government is reassuring. Look, Nigerians should be happy what God has done for them. I don't think any region is really left behind in this country. It's more of the local governments and the governors working. These throws we throw at the center. This tendency we have that when a politician gets to Abuja, he will be reformed. When actually he started his looting from your village, it's not going to work. So let's have a holistic attitude towards nation building. It's going to work out. Yeah, you go to Google, you ask about Southeast people. Google will tell you they're some of the most prosperous people on the continent. If the space across the nation was not fair to them, where would that money be made? I want people to reason everywhere, you know. Yes, the politics in the South is, I am one of those who felt that by now Nigeria should have managed to make somebody from Southeast the president of this country by making a point after the Civil War. It's my opinion. Politics does not work like that, you know. But then you ask, How much are the Southeast people coming together in unity to produce, in Nigeria, a president of Southeast extraction and all
But there's
that?
hardly, when you talk about unity, I remember
Yes.
when Ifeanyi Okowa was going to contest the governorship of Delta.
Yes.
And I had the opportunity of interviewing him, and I asked him, if, this unity among Delta Northerners at the time wasn't going to be a problem. And he said, look, that there is no time that the people will be so united that everybody will say, okay, I drop my ambition, I know you go. That everybody wants to aspire until at a certain point when it becomes clear and then people begin to realign and all of that. So we are not going to say, okay, Chukwudi, because you are wearing a red cap, don't worry, just go. I will stay here. That's how life is.
Yes, I agree. But to give it to my northern brothers, there are situations where Northerners in those days will say, hey, okay, for the sake of the region, let him go. They were always ahead of us in terms of thinking like that. You see, when you are wise all the time, you become stupid sometimes.
Sometimes, true.
One of the signs of great wisdom is knowing when to appear foolish. It works out.
Yeah, and talking about politics and, 2027, of course, the continuous voter registration begins on Monday. It's important that those who need to get their voter cards, those who need to change their voting centers or whatever it is, do the needful as early as possible so that it's not when, INEC says we're ending the process, Nigerians begin to cry and complain that, that has always been the case in previous exercises. So it's important. So this is another announcement that, on the 18th, which just go out, look for wherever the registration process is taking place, and do the needful as early as possible, just so that you don't begin to complain that, INEC is disenfranchising some people in some part of the country, or they don't have enough this and that. If you go early, things will be done smoothly. That's what I think.
I've always liked your crisp, fleeting, and not hasty English. You still manage clarity in spite of your speed, so you can talk on. I won't say that INEC has bribed you. You're just being a good citizen and a good presenter.
INEC doesn't bribe anybody, by the way.
I called her the dynamite this morning.
Yeah, she's a great woman. You're a great guy, too. Maybe sometimes.
All right. It's time to wish you well.
To kick me out.
And to wish you a cup of tea. Have a great day,
Okay, guys.
And I perceive you will have a great weekend. The energy is just...
I know. It's the way God created me. My sadness does not last long.
And good to know that you no longer crack on Fridays.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's get to our conversation just after this break. Please don't go away.